President Joe Biden announced one of his most sweeping immigration policies. The executive action continues to stay in the headlines. According to The Hill, a group of Republican senators sent a letter to the president calling on him to rescind the plan that allows undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens who have lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years from deportation. Now, the policy would protect an estimated 500,000 migrants who cross the border illegally.
While the president calls it a common sense fix to keep families together, those Republicans say it goes against the laws Congress has passed.
And here to talk about the logistics of how this plan will work and really the impact is immigration attorney Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, let's first dive into this. You work with many of these families. What is the response that you have gotten thus far?
They're excited. It's been a long time since the immigrant community has gotten any kind of good news announcement. It's just been a series of sort of negative or no news at all. And so they're excited. They want to know if it applies to them. They want to know the details and the specifics. A lot of logistical questions and hope from the people I talk to.
So how does this differ from the policy as it exists right now for these families? Like, what would normally be happening?
I think that's a really critical question because, you know, as we hear these Republican senators sort of rally against it, the thing to keep in mind is that this impacts families that are already eligible to get green cards through marriage. So these are undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens who have been in the country for 10 years or longer. But right now, the process, or before the announcement, is a three-step process that requires a waiver and a departure from the country in order to get their green card to come back in. It takes 5 or 6 years, and they don't have protection against deportation. They don't have a work permit while the process is pending. It's very stressful, it's very costly. And so this announcement is really just a common sense solution to how can we get these green cards for these families faster and keep them protected from deportation while they're in the process.
Okay, with nearly 500,000 people eligible, is it really even feasible to help all of the people who are interested?
Yes, this is something that immigration can absolutely do. As I mentioned, they're already in process. Many of these people are in the waiver process, they're in the consular process, so they just switch over and they do a parole application instead. They pay a filing fee to the government. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services receives payments for these applications. It really is a win-win all around, like I said, it's just common sense to do something like this.
So obviously that is how you feel about it, but not everybody does. It's a very hot political item right now, and former President Trump says that if he's elected, he would reverse this action that President Biden has put forth. What is the impact there if some of these migrants have already gone through that process and have either succeeded in being able to stay or have, you know, started the paperwork? How does that impact them at that point?
Well, that's the problem with executive orders. When we don't have Congress passing immigration reform laws, the presidents pass these orders that can be revoked in an instant or they can be held up in federal court process. So my advice to these families is that they don't drop the other process, that they continue with the waiver, they continue with the consular case because this parole program might go away. But my philosophy is that when a benefit is available to an immigrant, they should seize upon the opportunity and take it, get themselves in process, and, you know, not drop the, you know, plan B is my opinion. But this is why Congress should pass immigration reform, because this is not how immigration policy should be made in general.
Okay, Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, thank you so much, as always, for being here with us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.